mucosa, the attached mucosa, and here's start to bolt chain extrusion. So now I have double wire piggyback to avoid any anchorage loss and extruding the anterior teeth. After extruding a little bit, remove the chain and put it on the medial surface and complete the extruded. And after that, make rebonding and start to remove the tooth and the gum as well. We have a little bit this time. So finally, here I found the bulge. So start to go for gingivoplasty for that case. And after complete healing, the central was moved in its position. And this is the final panoramic X-ray after finishing and moving the central incision that place from that position. And this is the final gingival level for both central incision. Let's go for the last case. It's combined ortho-perio-perio. The patient just complaining of the midline blast. And he didn't mention that he found here primary lateral incisor and also primary canine. So from panoramic X-ray, here's you can notice the gingival pouch from the palate. So here's a remained piece and remained post canines. So we need to make orthodontic treatment. We need to extract seeds, moving the canine into place, and after the 18 years old, you can remove the piece and go for implant therapy. So leveling alignment after diagnosing the position. The problem is impaction. The problem is the asthma, and of course the crowding the lower arch and the missing upper laterals bilaterally. So now we can go for leveling and alignment, making exposure and molding for both canines and moving it into place till the 18 years old as we mentioned. So here the palate, you can go for open eruption therapy, not closed. So opening of the canines as part of treatment, both peri-back to avoid gingival overgrowth. Piggyback technique is important, okay? And after leveling and aligning, the canine start to auto-erupt, and it's time to pull the chain and to move it quickly, activating the wire every 1 month, as you know, and then after that it turned to levial, and now it's time to make rebonding and finishing the case. Unfortunately, before removal, I found that the root of the central incisor in the lateral space, so I can't go for the implant, okay? So now it's time to change the angulation for both central incisor and to change the angulation for both canines. Not always, all cases, easy. So now we have several options. You can go for wire bending, you can go for changing the brackets, okay? And from the beginning, to avoid that from happening, we have several options. The first one to invert, making flip horizontal into centrals, or you can use buttons more gingivally near the center of resistance, or you can use power arms. And every technique from that has its advantage and disadvantage for gingival overgrowth or irritation for the patient. And simply, I went for rebonding, making flipping for the right side, for the left side, and turning back to smaller arch wire, and less is more. And finally, 4 months later, the central roots moved and the canine roots moved, and now it's time to go for implants after 18 years old. And I used here the piece in the retainer game in the implant therapy, okay? And after complete healing for the case, and putting the final restoration. So, the harder you work for something, the greater you will feel when you achieve them. There is a little bit more obstacles in your practice. Failure, learn us more than success. Patient education, motivation, enhanced oral hygiene maintenance are essential during orthodontic treatment. Close cooperation between specialties in your clinic, especially periodontists and orthodontists, can ensure excellent results with long-term stability. Thank you for your concern, and very happy to share it with you. Thank you.
We would like to thank Dr. Amr for his excellent lecture. Now we are running out of time. Maybe there is some time for 1 or 2 questions actually. If there is any questions for any of the lecturers today, please. Okay.